In this video, we'll add a function that allows the player to exit the apartment. Now, as you can see, when I enter the apartment, there's a light that's flashing. As I mentioned earlier, that's a bug. The light is spilled from the ghost. As you can see, the ghost right now is active, even though it doesn't fly across. Right, so let me show you how we can fix it. So I'm going to go to the trigger ghost active, that object, and double click on the ghost script to open it. So this is a ghost script. So what we can do is in the start, we can deactivate the ghost object, okay, which is referred as an Animate object here, and we can see set active and false. So in the beginning, it will be deactivated, and then whenever the player enters the trigger, we want it to be activated and play the animation. Alright, so just add these two lines of code and let's save the script. Now if I do another test, as you can see, because the ghost is already deactivated in the beginning, so there's a low lights flashing. Now let's add a door to here, the front gate, and whenever our character picks up the gun, enter here, we can press the key to go back to the city. Okay, so here I'm going to go to the door folder and duplicate the first door. I'm going to move it here. So here I can just rotate it 90 degrees and fill the hole here. Now we can come to the script folder, right click and create a new script, and we can say press key exit apartment A. Okay, and let's open it. Okay, and remember in the earlier lesson we have used this script, press key enter apartment A. So we can just select the whole thing and copy it and paste it to here. And we'll change a few things. First is here the name. So this name, it should be the same as your script name. So here we'll change it to exit. And the only thing we'll have to change is here. So whenever the player is in the trigger and press down EK, we'll jump to a scene which the index number is 3. So let's save the script and let's go back to the scene and go to the front door. Okay, here the front door, and let's select its trigger. So here for the trigger, I'm going to rename it trigger exit apartment. And on this trigger, see, we're going to change the script. So we're going to delete its original script, and I'm going to add a component, add a press key exit apartment. Okay, and we'll create the instruction. So the instruction will be here. So let's just duplicate the 6th one, and here we'll name 7, and let's check it on and go to the text. So here we're gonna say press E to exit the apartment, and font as 20, color as white. And now let's double check to make sure it's centered. Yeah, it's centered, so we can turn it off and go back to the door group. Okay, then we'll come back to the exit apartment trigger and let's go down to the script. So here for the instruction, we're going to attach the 7th instruction to here. So remember, when we enter the apartment, we have to find the gun, right? So I don't want this trigger exit apartment to be shown in the beginning, otherwise the player will come out of the apartment without the gun. Okay, so I'm going to check it off, and I want to use the gun trigger to activate this one. So once you pick up the gun, this trigger will be activated. So now the player can exit. We're going to go to, where is it? the trigger pickup gun. So trigger pickup gun, here we can just add a function here. So we can just double click on pick up gun, okay, and we can simply just add an object. So here we can see public game object and exit apartment trigger, okay, and once you have picked up the gun, going to say exit this trigger, exit apartment trigger, set active true, okay, and then we're going to save this script and then go back to this trigger pickup gun, which is here. So we're going to add this trigger right here, the exit apartment trigger, which is under the door. So we're going to attach it to here. Then I'll go to the scenes folder and I'll duplicate the first scene, which is the city, and gonna say scene 3, and I'll go to build setting and add this scene into here. So as you can see, the index number is 3, and that will be referenced in the press key exit apartment script. As you can see, when you press down the key, they're gonna know the scene index number is 3. Right, and here after you add it, you can close, and let's go to apartment here. Remember, we have hided the ceiling, so we'll turn it on, and also let's turn off the directional light, and also let's go to the third scene. So whenever the character exits the apartment, he is supposed to have a gun, right? So we don't need to repeat this whole process, walk to the gate and pick up the lights, all of those stuff. So we can let's temporarily show the directional light, so you can see that. So we can simply just delete this stuff. For example, the trigger pickup object, sound, and also turn off the pedal light. So we can delete these 3. And also we don't need the light on the table and also the light cover, which is the first pedal light. So we can delete these 2 as well. And we also don't need the second one, which is the trigger enter the apartment, right? So here we can just delete it, and we'll need the second pedal light. So this is the apartment our player entered, right? So he will be exited here. And the first person controller, that is the original one. We don't need that, so we can just delete that. And instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the second scene, and I'll duplicate the first person controller from the second scene back here. So I'm going to duplicate this whole folder and then go to the third scene and paste it here. And let's see, where is it? So we'll place him in front of the apartment and let him to face into that direction. So we're going to rotate it to 270. So he will face in front of the 270. So he will face in front of the apartment. Okay, so this is after he got the gun. So move it up a little bit, so make sure he's above the ground. Okay, and a few things we have to change in the first person controller. So remember, here in the beginning, the gun on hand is disabled. Here, let's check it on, so our player can use it whenever he exits the apartment. And for the instructions canvas, we can just delete the first 2, and let's say the third one oops, let's save this scene and go back to the second scene. So for the second scene, we have used, okay, so this is the 7th one, and that means in our third scene, this will be the 8th instruction. So I haven't decided what we're going to put here, so let's just leave it empty like this. So press something, so we're going to write it later, and let's also turn it off. Okay, so now let's temporarily check off the directional light and go back to the second scene, and we'll do a full run of the game. Let me turn on the light, and in the beginning I'm not be able to exit the front gate, right? So I will have to come here and pick up the gun. Okay, so now I'm able to use the gun, and if I come back here, so now I'm able to exit. So if I press E, so here is it. So now I'm out, exited the apartment. So now I can continue oriental run in the scene.